Flamingo was a catchy tune by a Manfred Mann that occupied my head on that summer day in 1966. Maria was scheduled to move the next morning. Though there was a sadness in me that day, and all-consuming anger was my most dominant emotion. The band saw this and knew that I needed a break. We had all given up our summer jobs and were practicing almost 8 hours a day. But for most of the summer, Maria and I had found a way to be together before, after, and sometimes during practices. However, in the last week, parents demanded that she stay home and pack. We both practiced early so I could be with her. As the sun was setting over our Cambria Heights neighborhood, I ran to Maria's house. Her father refused to let her come outside. He never really liked me. He was trying to end it right there and then.
Daddy, please let me at least say goodbye to him.
Maria, I told you to finish packing.
My father still held it against me that my family had not joined him in the white flight that had consumed our neighborhood. In his eyes, we were fools for not joining what had become a full-blown Caucasian stampede. As I stood outside Maria's house, my fury grew and I wanted to strike out at someone or something. I wouldn't hurt a living person with my temper, but inanimate objects were fair game. Like so many other front yards in the Heights, this span of grass was so minuscule that it could be mowed in 15 minutes using only a pair of scissors. This made it doubly confusing that people who chose to decorate these small patches of green with really cheap ornaments. The most common were plastic pink flamingos. I don't understand the reason for an ugly tropical bird decorating a lawn in New York City. However, they were in abundance in my neighborhood, including the one that I had chosen to strangle in frustration that very afternoon. As I attempted to murder the plastic flamingo, Maria's mother came out of the house. Desperate to find an excuse, I blurted out,
The flamingo started it.
You get your goddamn ass out of here, right now.
I was furious, but realized that anything I say would only cause more problems. Frustrated, I looked back at the flamingo.
This isn't over yet.
I returned to see if the guys wanted to resume practice, but only Jimmy Gio was still there. As I told my story, they both tried to calm me down. We left the basement for fear. My verbal outrage would offend Jimmy's parents. Once out in the street, at a safe distance away, I let loose with a stream of obscenities that didn't end until we had traveled almost to the eastern border of the Heights. Fuck! Knowing my pain, they just let me go on. Ironically, when I finally stopped ranting, I found myself standing next to, of all things, another pink plastic flamingo.
Screw you and your smiley pink face!
I figured he had spoken with the other plastic bird on the flamingo hotline.
When she walks by, she brightens up the neighborhood. Oh, every guy would marry her if he just could, if she just would.
My anger came down a notch or two, but I had a plan. Jimmy, Gio, and I never slept that night. After requisitioning 3 shopping carts from a supermarket, we systematically scoured the streets for our prey. In the Great Flamingo Roundup of 1966, the 3 of us found every flamingo that had been bought by evil flamingo slaveholders of the Heights. By 4 in the morning, we were pretty sure that we had herded every flamingo from the neighborhood into our wagon train. They arrived at their final destination a little before sunrise. We placed the more than 3 dozen plastic birds on the Romano family lawn. When every inch of the grass was covered with our pink friends, we filled the concrete, railing, and exterior walls with the overflow of birds. Yeah, we would have liked to have stayed and watched their reaction, but thought better about being caught pink-handed. But in my anger, I had only hurt myself. I couldn't say goodbye to Maria as her family prepared to leave the next day. But even so, There was a great satisfaction in knowing that we had reunited an entire tribe of birds that had so long been separated by man's inhumanity to innocent but ugly plastic birds.